And we're live, guys. Welcome back to the show. We're Rollo, Tomassi. We're going to cover today the Manosphere and the current state. Let's go! All right, man, and we're back. Listen.
Look at my feet. Look, they're naked. There's no slippers on.
No socks, bro.
No socks, bro. That's how I roll.
We had an awesome show a few nights ago, After Hours, with you and Sartain. Thank you for that.
Yep.
But today we're going to cover the state of the Manosphere, what's going on,
sure,
and what we can do to move forward. So, honestly speaking, from the actual point of view of the viewers here, what is the definition of the Manosphere, you would say, currently?
It's evolved so much. Like, it wasn't even called the Manosphere when I started, actually.
What was it called?
I don't know. It was like
forums?
It was more like, it was the forum days. So I started really moderating a forum called SoSuave back in the mid 2000s, like right around 2004-ish. I laugh when people go, "Well, Rollo didn't invent the red pill or anything like that." Like, people don't understand, like, the term red pill has been around since they were watching Fairly Odd Parents and, Jimmy Neutron, right? I mean, I went to the SoSuave forums, and I actually looked up my earliest post where I used the term red pill, and it was December of 2004.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah, so it's been around a lot longer than most people really want to accept, right? Because I think people think that the red pill or the Manosphere begins and ends with, like, Andrew Tate, you guys, and Pearl. I think that's all they know, and it's only been around for, like, 4 years as far as they're concerned.
I think we made it more mainstrim, so to speak.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, definitely brought it to light, for sure. And I've said this on the show when we had Mike on with us. There's that one clip of me and you guys. I think it was in the very earliest days. I think it was March of 2021, and I think it was like the second or third time I've been on the show. And
you said it.
I had more subs than you did at that time.
It's true.
It didn't last long, but I did. You guys asked me. You said, "Is the Manosphere's a red pill going to go mainstream?" And my words were, "I hope not."
I hope not.
I didn't say they wouldn't. I just said I hope not, because what I see happening. What I predicted was going to happen then, and really what's happening right now, is that it's sort of been appropriated by people who have no real business being in this space to begin with. So, like, I was watching whatever podcast about a day ago, and Andrew Wilson was on there, and he was debating this guy. I have no idea who the guy was. I have never seen the guy in my life, but his whole Christian duty in life was to, like, lead people away from the red pill. And I'm like, does this guy even know what the red pill is? No, I didn't even know if that. Like, for me, I'm at the point right now where I'm not offended by people who want to fight the red pill or turn it into a straw man so they can knock it down, because I'm at the point where all I want to do is I want to know what their background is. Do you even know what you're talking about? Because most of the time they don't. They think that the red pill, like I said, begins and ends with Andrew Tate and Pearl and that kind of stuff. And they have no real background or real history in the red pill or the Manosphere or we call it male self-improvement space. Yep. We call it, like, right now, the red pill could be political, it could be social, it could be religious. And that's exactly what I was saying in March of 2021, because the same thing had happened in the previous election cycle. I saw all these people coming into the space, and they would use the red pill, hashtag red pill, as their own little personal brand to represent whatever their pet ideology happened to be. And I don't think a lot of people realize this, but, like, if you go back and you look at, like, Candace Owens's Twitter handle back in the day, it used to be Red Pill Black. Before it was Candace Owens, yes. Because they would take the red pill and apply it to the alt-right, or they would apply it to conservative politics, or they would apply it to whatever social, sort of impetus that they happen to be behind. Because to them, the red pill was just like, well, you used to believe one thing, and now you believe something else, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, no, that's not where it came from. And I know because I was back in the day in 2004 when we started using the term, the red pill from the Matrix. We used to use the term Matrix and stuff like that because it was just an allegory that was applicable at that time. Mm-hmm. And I remember back in 2010, 2012, people would they would hate us because they would think that the red pill and the Matrix was cringe.
Yeah.
Like, oh, who's using that? Blue pill, red pill? What is this? The Matrix? And people thought it they would shit all over it because they thought it was corny back then. Now nobody thinks it's corny. Now it's like the red pill is whatever it is to,
everybody.
Yeah, to everybody. So right now it's like it's almost me. I don't know what else to call what you and I do and what Myron does and what like some of the other guys that I know from like Rich Cooper and Ryan Stone and the rest of these guys who have been in the space for a long time. It's like we don't know what else to call it. There's no other real definition that really sort of serves a purpose. So we just call it whatever, red pill, and that's it.
I see it as a place where men can go to for help and some guidance, and also learn from themselves how to become a better man. Mm-hmm. But I think people have taken it for granted and said, you know what, I can use this, I want to say, these people or this genre to boost my own audience and kind of just gain favor. Mm-hmm. But it never really a part of it. Just came to
they turned it into a personal brand.
Yeah.
That's why. And it's not that I'm not my own personal brand. I am. Mm-hmm. But in its purest form, the red pill is a praxeology, meaning that it is the science or the study of human behavior in that it has a purpose. There's a function. There's a latent purpose for why we do what we do. And I apply that in the red pill. I apply that as the praxeology of intersexual dynamics. So if people ask me for the elevator pitch or well, what is the red pill in 5 minutes, right? I'll just say it's the praxeology of intersexual dynamics, and that's a mouthful for them. They want a bumper sticker.
Yeah.
And that's the problem with all of this is it's not a bumper sticker. It's like a college major is what it is. Because you think about all of you just watch Access Vegas, and me and Mike we were doing it here on the show, even Mike and I, and we have to catch ourselves doing this. We will bounce ideas off of each other all the time. That's why we work so great. Is he's into the same kind of he reads the same stuff that I do, and we don't agree on everything, but we challenge each other so we can come to a better consensus about stuff. But when we do that on the show, on Access Vegas, that doesn't make for the best show.
Yeah.
It's good if I'm sitting across from him and we're having this sort of meeting of the minds. But that's going to attract a different audience than it is for, we're going to sit around, the girls look bored and they're on their phones and everything else, right?
Yeah.
So then you have to re-engage the girls. And so you got to make it something topical and then, but if it just left to our own devices, me and Mike would just be talking about if you think about all the things that are involved in the red pill, as far as intersexual dynamics is concerned, there's anthropology, sociology, evolutionary psychology, evolutionary biology, political science. There's so many sub areas or sub genres or and I'm not an expert in 90% of these things, right? I have to be endocrinology, neurology. I got to know how the brain works. I got to know how your hormones work, because if I don't, there's some smart son of a bitch that's in the forum somewhere. Well, he didn't know that progesterone interacts with estradiol, and yeah, because I'm not an endocrinologist, but can you at least follow my logic? And I will get. I think there's what we're asking me about the Manosphere and the red pill word. I think it's going. There's a growing set of influencers or brand, personal brand guys that have made it sort of their personal branding to find some way to sort of bring down the red pill.
Yeah.
Right. And so
monetary gain.
Whether they have any prior knowledge is sort of irrelevant, right? Because they know that they're going to have a preset audience for them that's already waiting to fuck those guys, tell me why we should hate them.
Yeah.
And 90% of the time it's guys who will take something outrageous they heard, or maybe something they saw in the chat, right? They'll say it'll be all bitches should be flown to the moon, or some shit like that. All women need to be, put into hijabs or something outrageous, right? And then they'll go on. Then some random dude will go on whatever podcast or somewhere else, and they'll go, "You guys always say that women should be flown to the moon," and I'm like, where the fuck is this coming from? And it's some random comment or some clip that they heard on TikTok or a YouTube short, and they'll go, that's those red pill guys.
They're alphas. They will say we're
those
alpha
male podcasts.
Yeah.
That's what they're.
Who says that?
This is an alpha male. Welcome to the alpha male podcast.
I don't know. Well, correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know one person that has said, "I'm an alpha male. Look at me." Who does that? Nobody.
Yeah, I've never, outside of being facetious with myself or being self-deprecating, have ever called myself like an alpha, right? I've jokingly referred to myself as a lesser alpha, but people don't know where that joke came from because it was so long ago. There's a blogger named Royce who used to have this. He used to have this personality test. Personality test.
Heartiste.
And Heartiste. Yeah, well, it became Heartiste later on, and he used to have this kind of semi-joking questionnaire. And if you answer the questions right, you were either like a lesser beta, a greater beta, somewhere in between. And I took it one time just for shits and giggles, and I came out as a lesser alpha, so I started calling myself a lesser alpha. He called himself a lesser alpha. He's not alpha. He doesn't look like me. He doesn't smell like me. He doesn't dress like me. And it's whatever. Whenever you talk about alpha, like
it triggers people.
People like if you say this guy's beta, no problem. Nobody has a clue. Everybody knows what beta looks like. Everybody knows that guy's a loser. Yeah, he's real beta. But you go and you say you're an alpha.
Oh, they want to beat
you
down.
You're not Orthodox Christian, or you're not Catholic, or you're not this or something like that.
Yeah.
Or you aren't, or your body fat percentage is at like 10%. Yeah. Or like if you don't have some sort of like hyper masculinized personality or characteristics or physical characteristics, then there'll be 10 or 12 other guys in the chat that'll just pile on too, because you don't look like them, you don't do what they say, you don't believe what they say, and you're never going to win. But I've always thought it was an interesting kind of social experiment to sort of look through some of the comments or look through some of the chats and stuff like that and see like what people will do when you give them data or you give them facts and you don't tell them how to feel about it. Because if you don't, they will infer what your meaning is, or they'll just simply hate you for it. Just how it works.
That's powerful. By the way, shout out to Jake the Mullet for getting 5 subs. Shout out to your brother. Again, guys, I'm doing Natural Subathon next Friday. We're going to have the speech therapist give me the session. And you know what's funny about this, man? You're going to see me live on air get speech lessons. So next Friday, be here, don't be square.
You want me to tell you something funny?
Yeah, go ahead.
I didn't say I'm going to do this yet, but I've been considering shaving my head.
What?
Right? Yeah, I've been considering shaving my head. Now, the reason why I talked to my buddy Joe Marin, he says, we have to do it live. We would have to go, you'd have to go to a barber, and we'd have to do it on a live stream or something like that.
Now, bring the barber to you.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, yeah, exactly. Bring him in the studio and do it right. And the reason I would do that is because I want people to know that I actually do have hair, and I'm now shaving. I wasn't bald before, and now I'm going to shave it off because I was looking at like maybe doing the Jason Statham thing.
Can we address the rolls on these like roids or whatever? Because people, you got in shape, right? And I'm like, congrats. At your age, you're in good shape. They're like, oh, he's on steroids. Bro, can you tell them real quick what
he's on gear? No, I about a year and a half ago, I finally took Mike Sartain's advice and started doing TRT, right? Now, I've been talking about TRT since like the Rich Cooper days, because Rich was on TRT long before anybody else was, and he was a big advocate of it. And I never really thought of it, I needed it or really cared too much about it, because I was doing pretty good. In fact, I was just barely below enough in my serum testosterone to actually even qualify for was Ageless Male. Shout out to Ageless Male. You guys are the ones that gave me the gains. And then, so I started doing it, and I remember when I started doing it, I think it was 8 weeks in or 10 weeks in, and you don't feel different until you've been on it for a while. You get to the 10-week mark or the 12-week mark, the colors in your world change. And it's not just about, it's not like a steroid, it's testosterone cypionate. It's not like it's not like some high. It's not T Pro. It's not Diana Ball. It's not Prima Bowling or anything like that. But if you have been low and suddenly you're back to normal, you're like, I want to fuck everything in this room. You know, I want to go do stuff, and Mike got it right. It makes effort feel good, and so I was at the point. You got to remember when I started it, I was already a year into Access Vegas, and so here I have been doing and making trips from Reno all the way down to Las Vegas and back for every show that we did. I was telling you before the show, you know, I had to get a car because I was spending a small fortune on Uber. Ended up getting a rental place, and essentially living in Vegas. So that's why I ended up moving to Vegas, right? But it was at that point where I realized I am surrounded by beautiful women all the time. Just the nature of the show. After we would do shows, we go to Zook, we go to Omnia, we go to Hakkasan. You're the one that taught me this, is that you need to have an Instagram presence because people like to see your lifestyle.
Yes.
And so I'm thinking about this and I'm going, I just jumped into, escalated the game, right? I'm not in Reno anymore. I'm in Las Vegas now, and I have to maintain an appearance. And it was at that time I started going to Powerhouse Gym in Las Vegas. So now I'm on TRT. I start working out with Hide Yamagishi, who is the IFBB Pro,
Legend.
IFBB Pro champion from 2023. And Iris Kyle is the co-owner, and she is 10 times Miss Olympia. Thank you very much. The only one to ever do it 10 times. And then people who already know one of my workout friends, partners, whatever, Alvaro Pena, who is also a competitive fitness bodybuilder. And so I'm working out with them all the time, and effort feels good, right? And I'm never missing a workout. And I decided, you know, when we talk about money, muscles, and game, I'm like, I'm going to focus on muscles for a while and see how this works out, right? And I put on, like, I had to get refitted for a suit at Jackson Maximus recently. And the guy's like, man, you got 16-inch guns. And I was like, because he had the old measurements from when he did my first suit, and I had to have alterations done to my suit. And that my chest is wider, my boulder shoulders shoulders are my favorite thing to work out. So I do that. But Powerhouse Gym is just, it was a game changer for me. And I think a lot of people think that once even if you're doing gear, even if you're doing tren, man, you still have to work out. Yeah. and muscles don't just magically jump on your body, man. You actually have to make effort, and you have to be disciplined, nutrition, everything else.
Is TRT considered a steroid or no? TRT?
TRT is not considered a steroid, although I'm sure some people in the chat are going to say it is, because it's testosterone cypionate. It's not like testosterone propionate. It's not like T Pro. It's not like Masterone or anything like that.
Okay.
If you were going to call it a steroid, it would be the lowest grade steroid that there is.
Okay.
It's so low you can get it without a prescription. So
there you go.
That should tell you something.
All right, guys. Now you know what he's really on.
You actually have to work out, though. You have to have, and that's what I did. Was I got my shit together. So you want to know why the new book is not ready yet? That's why. Because I've been focusing on something else, right?
Yeah, I think for most people, though, once you pass like 35 plus, you're gonna probably want to get on that, because the water we drink, the food we eat, it's all full of like a bunch of bad stuff for us anyway. Regarding lower test scores.
I forget the guy's name. Ed was saying the older you get, or the older you get, the more being in shape is a flex, and it's true.
That is facts. I will say though, clothes fit you better too as well once you get in shape. So you can wear anything once you're in shape.
Yeah, well, any shirt's a muscle shirt if you have muscles.
That's true.
Hide Yamagishi taught me that one. He's like, any shirt's a muscle shirt if you have muscles.
So there was an argument a couple weeks ago where the question was, is the Manosphere dead? And then they brought up, who killed it? And the argument was that people from within killed it. So the people that were actually part of the Manosphere destroyed it inside out. What do you think about that?
I don't think the Manosphere is dead. I remember, God, how many times has Chris Williamson had Destiny on his show and asked that exact same fucking question, man?
Yeah.
And I think it's dead. It was, it was over. It was DOA. Blah blah. Blah. Like, you have no idea what you're talking about, because the Manosphere, as we know it right now, has gone through so many like paradigm shifts from the time. I mean, you got to remember, I've been doing this for 22, 23 years now.
You've seen it all.
I've seen it go through phases. I've seen it. It wasn't even called the Manosphere when I was started. We use the red pill as sort of an analogy, but I think we need to make a distinction between the Manosphere and the red pill for sure. Mm-hmm. I look at it this way, like when I look at like the black pill, if I look at like doomers and I look at like MGTOW, if I look at the white pill, if I look at some of these more sort of moralistic like guys who kind of like pick and pull parts of the red pill that they like, and then they go, well, I don't like this part of the red. Like, remember when Andrew Tate was at his peak, even Patrick Bet-David and the rest of these guys who were like his biggest fans, they didn't accept him wholesale, right? They didn't accept the whole thing, right? They're like, I like what he has to say about getting up, being on point, and like all the stuff that like aligned with their brand. They will pull that and they will keep that. But anything that was off-brand, they were just ignoring it, or they didn't want to like attack it, but they would just ignore it. They wouldn't pull that. So it's what I call pick and pull red pill, right? Same thing goes for sort of this moralistic group. That's the moralists right now. They're really happy when something that the red pill observes aligns with like patriarchy, right? Or it aligns with something they read in the Bible or something they read in the Quran, right? Or something, whatever. If it lines up with their religious beliefs or if it lines up with their political beliefs, we're going to pull that and we're going to pull that and keep that, right? If it doesn't, then we're either going to ignore it or we're going to say, well, we were never really fully, we were red pill adjacent. We were never really on board with any of that, right? And so what that says to me is they were just more about their own brand than they were about the red pill. And so the thing about the red pill is it's not one size fits all. Okay. So these guys either take it or you leave it. Like, I'm going to tell you I'm going to rub your noses in, intersexual dynamics. And if you can accept that, fine. If you can't accept that, I'm at least telling you the truth, And so I think that it's not dead per se. Mm-hmm. I just think that it's going through a shift right now. And the reason it's going through such sort of this paradigm shift, I guess, is because what's happening is the parts of the red pill that were working for these guys is not paying off as well as shitting on the red pill as the parts that didn't. And so now what you see is these guys shifting over towards the negative side of things. And so now what do they do? They build up straw men about the red pill. You guys always say this. You guys say that. I'm like, no, we don't. Like, who are you talking about? Like, that's the one. If I have
call names.
Yeah, I was going to say
please
exactly.
Please call names.
That's the first thing I do whenever I see this, and especially on Twitter right now. It's this new sort of I guess a revenue model, or it's this new sort of profit stream for people to not respond to anything. Like Twitter, to me anyways, is a discussion platform. Mm. But if you go and you look at like the accounts of like Jordan Peterson or Chris Williamson or some of these other like bigger names, they'll throw like quick hit drive-by tweets out there, and you'll go, fuck you, have you ever thought about this? Who are you talking about? Blah, blah, blah. Crickets. There's no reply whatsoever. It's dead ass silence. And the reason for that is because they're not doing those tweets. They have a PR team that's doing those tweets. They don't run their Twitter. They don't have time. Chris Williamson does not have time to run his Twitter account to the point where he could have any kind of substantive conversation on Twitter. It's not going to happen. So I've just pretty much given up on that, because I'll get people who will send me they'll link me something that somebody said, like maybe it's like the guy at Date Psych, or it's Mac and Murphy, or it's Will Costello, or something like that. All they built brands just basically off of trying to find out, find some way to straw man the red pill and then knock it down.
Yeah.
And then I go and respond, and it's dead ass silence. And there's nothing to be said, because they're not there for any kind of conversation. They're just there to build a brand based on shitting on the red pill. So if there's I think that's one of the reasons why people think it's dead. It's not dead. It's just that there's no conversation that's being had. I had, I mentioned before how Andrew Wilson was talking with this one guy just like 2 days ago on whatever podcast. I had Brian from whatever podcast hit me up this morning, actually, and asked me if I wanted to come on and debate this guy. And I go, well, it's not going to be much of a debate, because I'm just going to tell him what it's about and tell him where he's wrong. And there's not going to be much of a conversation there because the guy simply lacks the experience to have a substantive debate about any of this stuff. Because all he's going to say is, you guys always say this, you guys always say that. And you're never going to get past that, because what they're describing, what these guys who shit on the Manosphere are describing, is practices, not the praxeology. So when I talk about MGTOW, black pill, white pill, moral pill, gold pill, shit pill, I don't know. God pill, whatever it is. When I talk about those things, those are all practices that draw from the red pill. So when people say, oh, Rollo's really going black pill these days, I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm red pill, and I'm just telling you like it is. I'm not telling you what you should do. I'm just observing the facts, presenting you as facts, and allowing you as a critical thinking, intelligent human being to draw your own fucking conclusions.
Yeah.
These guys' conclusions is, oh, well, I guess we better just give up. The juice isn't worth the squeeze. I'm out. Bye. Right? Or else it might be, yeah, you know what we need to do? We need to looks max. You know, you get these looks max. You know, for all the people who are looks maxers, I'd be like, how come you're not in the gym, man? How come you're not a personal trainer? How come you're not on trend? How come you're not, you know, like if it's all about looks, how come you're not taking that as your best practice and turning it, leveraging it to your best advantage? And that's really what the white pill does. That's what MGTOW does. That's what black pill. Those are practices. It's people who've taken the information that the red pill presents to them, and they say, this is what we should do with this. So when people attack the red pill, they're not attacking the red pill. They're attacking these people who says this is the best practice.
Can we also talk about like what's happening currently in the news cycle? We're seeing more and more people getting lied about, allegations from women. And we've been saying this for years, that, listen, guys, it's a dog-eat-dog world out here. It's not safe if you're not RP-aware, because what's happening is there's a shift in marketplace, and women are having more control and more power. So now we're seeing in real time celebrities that are up there getting destroyed by women every single day. Shannon Sharp, to name a few.
Oh, God. Me and Mike did a whole episode.
Yeah. And then obviously there's Chris Brown, too, as well, from back in the day. There's Soulja Boy. We can go on for like, a whole episode. But the point is that, like, this is happening. People can see it now for the first time actually happen in a multitude of
Jonah Hill.
examples.
Jonah Hill was one of those as well. Yeah.
So I guess when people see that, do they still think, you think people should actually like, okay, you know what? I'm seeing it now in real time. I should learn, or should I just like kind of like stay away all the way because it's a bad thing for society?
Oh yeah, I see what you're saying. Like so, like should she just like, you know, put a wall between you and all of that, rather than just sort of like try to play the game better? Right? Yeah. I get what you're saying. No, we've talked about that. Again, this is all best practices now. So I can, you know, of all those names, you know what name is not on that list? Rollo Tomassi, who's been a part of this for a long time. You've not seen me in any kind of scandal. No essay
Even
charges.
me, I've been in the scandal.
And no baby traps.
What's that to me?
No thirst traps. Rollo's really boring. Yeah, well, sorry. That's just how it is. I've been married for coming up on 29 years now.
You live a good life, man.
You know, I'll tell you what's funny is like, I can remember when I would get run off the flagpole because they say, Rollo Tomassi don't get no hose, man. You know, and I'm like, show me some hose that Rollo Tomassi has.
Guys, I can say right now,
those were receipts back then.
If Rollo was single, he'd be tearing the city up.
Trust me.
But as a faithful, God-fearing man,
yes,
he is faithful
father
to the T, and a father.
Yes.
I'm not gonna hold you, Rollo.
Just like you, Fresh.
Hold on. If I was him in Vegas, bro, I'd be going bonkers, bro. Like, keeping it real. You know what I'm saying? I love the snow. But again, props to you for being faithful all these years.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what's funny is like prior to where we're at right now, it gets, again, it just depends on who you're talking to. I remember when people would give me shit about like, oh, Rollo hasn't seen a new pussy in a long time, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay, so that's receipts to you. Like, would you have more respect for me? Like if I was out, like, you know what? I'm sorry, dear. I'm going to have to divorce you because these guys, these random motherfuckers on chat, they're going to love me that much more if I just go out and fuck random hoes. Right. Yeah. So those are receipts. And then if you go and you talk to sort of like the moralistic crowd, it's like, I'm the most conservative dude they know because I have been faithful to my wife. I've been married for 29 years. And so now those are receipts to be faithful to your wife and to have like a good family and to have, but I don't have enough kids. So I only had one. I guess I only get like 10 daddy cool points instead of like, what do you get?
You can't win, bro.
10 per child, I think is how
you can't win,
it is.
huh?
You can't be married. You're red pill.
Yeah.
You can't be red pill. You're married.
Exactly. Yeah, I don't know. That was the first thing he ever did, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
Yeah, that was funny. No, but like so receipts now. I think, I don't know, it depends on who you ask. Receipts right now is living a good life with a wife and a family and being on your game. Whereas before it was, you're not fucking random hoes. What's your body count? Because if your body count isn't in the triple digits, then you don't have any receipts. I'm like, so where,
bro?
I feel like Jackie Chan, you know that meme.
Jackie!
Yeah.
Ah! So, you know what's funny? Back then especially, I used to show a lot of receipts, right? Mm-hmm. Not all, of course, but just like some. Just to sprinkle in there, hey, we're still here, we're dating, we're in the marketplace, making it happen. However, you know what happened to my audience and channel? They'll go to the girl's page, look at their parents, brothers, uncles, and some of them are weird because they were like kind of like not racist, but they're kind of like race dependent. Where, for example, they'll say, "Oh, well, I'm white. He's smashing white girls, so I'm gonna tell on him." So they're telling the parents like, "Oh, why is she smashing this black guy?" And I'm like, "You guys are weird, bro." And then it became like an obsession between, "Oh, who's he smashing now? Is there a sex tape?" I'm like, you guys are weird, bro. So receipts is one thing, but I feel like it never really gave them enough because they always wanted more. And then it's like, they're like, wait, did you go all the way? Yes, nigga, I went all the way. She's still here, bro. Shut up. But the point is that, like, receipts, bro.
She's cleaning up now.
Yeah. There's a thing in the past. Even, dude, one stream, bro, go on my channel, I was doing it on the balcony. And they were like, no, he didn't do it. Yeah, I did. But it's never enough because with receipts, they always want more. Never enough.
Yeah, again, it goes back to the alpha thing. If he's not doing what I want him to do, he's not alpha, and I shouldn't follow him.
And then I remember...
He's too old. I shouldn't follow him, right? It's like, well, what do you want? Do you want, like, information?
Exactly.
Like, what do you want?
And then the issue was, he's not getting by game. He must be paying. I'm like, bro, you don't think by now, after all those examples, they would have... One that said, you know what? Yeah, he paid me. Where? There's none.
Yeah.
But the thing is, like, having this type of, like, audience, this type of, like, I want to say genre, they want to see you follow through line by line everything, but you can't always do that because it's your life.
Yeah.
And you show too much, it's curtains.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's a price that comes with that, because I remember, like, when you and when I first met you, it was like in January. I personally met you in January 2021, and you're actually responsible for me, like, starting my Instagram page,
the brand,
and my
man.
Instagram going, because he's like, people want to see what you're doing every day, and they want to see, and all this stuff, and I'm like, do they? And they do, and I was like, oh, this is awesome. And so, like, I'm posting stuff up. There's definitely a difference between posting on Twitter and posting on Instagram, because Twitter has been my ride for a long, long time. And whenever I put, like, I'm posting pictures. I caught a sailfish, by the way, on my fishing chart. It was the first time I ever caught a sailfish in my life. It was like knocked off my bucket list. I go and I put pictures or video on Instagram, and people are like, hey, man, right on. God, that's great.
Awesome. Good job,
great
bro.
stuff. You put it on fucking Twitter, like,
That's all you caught?
That's all you caught?
You're lame, bro.
It's only an 8-foot sailfish. I got a 12-foot one. It's like,
Yeah, Twitter is full of hate, bro.
Well, I forget who. Actually, I think it was my wife who said this. She said, if you like something on Twitter, people hate you for it.
Yeah.
But if you love something on Twitter, they will hate you for it. But if you hate something, they will love you for it, because it's like, oh, one of us. He hates these people, and he hates that thing. That he's one of ours, right?
Yeah.
And then if you like something, and God forbid it's a movie, and God forbid it's like any kind of pop culture or something like that, people will say you're gay, you don't know what you're talking about, or you're a tourist, you're casual, whatever. I don't know what the terms are right now. You're corny, you're cringe.
Yeah.
Cringe. Cringe. You know what's cringe? The word cringe. It literally is cringe right now.
Stupid.
Yeah. Can we come up with some? I'm waiting for us to come up with something new. No, but like there's a definite qualitative difference between Twitter and Instagram.
Yeah.
And then but my point was this is, and I brought this up not on your show, but on a few other shows. Do you remember last time I was here last year, and we were actually taking Hero out to the dog park?
Yes.
And we were in your Audi.
Audi R8.
In your Audi. And you're like, hey, I need to take a picture of you because we got to put it on the thumbnail, because all my pictures were old. And so I'm like there, I'm just like this on the back of the Audi, and I thought it was a pretty cool picture, right? Cool. And so I posted it, and I posted it on. This was, by the way, I hate to say, this both Instagram and Twitter. I realize I have gotten to the point where I cannot post any picture without people thinking it's a flex. They think that I am like, oh look, that's his car that he bought with all of his ill-gotten gains from his book that he's trying to trick all these incels into thinking they have a chance with girls, And I mean, they're writing doctoral theses about how I'm scamming people because of this one picture on the back of your Audi, and people think it's like my car. I'm like, okay, how many times have I posted pictures of my Camaro and you think this is my car?
Okay, you know what's funny about that? I'll never forget this, right? We did the podcast. It's going pretty well. And it was all love.
Mm-hmm.
The moment I posted the McLaren, it was like,
oh my God.
It was like, hold on.
Oh shit.
This thing's got a McLaren? Oh, they're making money now.
Yeah.
Oh, hell. Bro, and that's the hate train came in full effect.
And you know what? If memory serves, you got that in July or August of 2021.
Yes.
Right? What happened in August of 2021? That's when Abba and Preach came at you.
Yeah.
Yep. Right after that fucking picture.
It's funny.
Man.
Like, it's funny because I got a friend, Batman Cable, right? He shows lifestyle to a different level. It's like, a dream. And he told me, and it's true, the moment you post yourself doing well, it's like you're inviting the evil eye, the hate to come on you. Yes. And it's funny. Notice these guys that hate on us, they don't show any wealth.
No.
But hold on, but they have it though. So I'm like, oh, so you're playing goody two shoes. Like, oh, I don't have anything, but you really do have a lot of stuff. You just don't show it. But the point is that like having things that people don't have, you just bring about hate. So I think there's a level of like hate in our own industry where like guys will see others doing well. Oh, why is he doing better than me? He has a book. Well, I don't have a book. And it's like, wait a minute. Are you putting in the work? Are you actually networking, making connections, and doing things correctly? No. That's why you're still where you're at. Versus having an actual good message for your audience, having them to improve and move forward. But my thing is like that right there is a downfall because us as men, we hit on each other in our own industry.
We're always competitive. We will men, even the best of friends, even if it's a friendly rivalry, it's still a rivalry.
But hold on, I can compete with you. Yeah. I don't have to hate you. Like
no, not at all. I hope you. I hope you do compete with me.
But they hate
makes me
you.
better. Yeah.
But they hate you. It's like a deep hatred. Like, why him, not me?
Yeah.
Okay, so for example, let's say Rollo's in shape, right? I'm 32. He is
57.
I can be hating right now. Damn, he's got muscle. I don't. But to be honest with you, I don't work out that much, and I don't eat that well. I am changing now, of course, but it's still going up. But I can say, you know what? Damn, I need to do better and focus. Versus say, hey, this nigga, bro, fuck.
You come to Las Vegas. Come to Las Vegas.
Take your steroids.
Work out at Powerhouse Gym. I guarantee you will change your body.
but the point is, I took that approach to you, and I said, you know what? Positively, I'm going to say, all right, he's doing well. I'm going to take some tips from him and learn to improve my life. Versus saying, oh, I hate this nigga. Da, da, da. I don't even know you.
Yeah.
I know you now, but like, it's like, so to me, it's how we approach it as creators. And we kind of say, all right, well, he has a larger audience. I'm going to attack him. Or he has, I don't know, a show with girls every night. Let's attack him.
Right.
But it's never like, okay, I could learn, maybe collab with people and improve the whole brand itself. It's more like, the whole industry. It's more like, I see him doing well. I want to take him down.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, like Rich Cooper has this saying, like hate only comes from below, right? Which I think it's a pretty good rule. Generally, I think that's true. Yeah. Generally, I think that's true. But hate comes from above sometimes when they see you coming up in the rearview mirror. When they see you like you're getting pretty close. It's like that old lion who is like the king of the pride. Yeah. And there's a younger lion that's coming up in the rearview mirror, and he's not from below. He's from like right here with you, and you got to do something, and that keeps us better. The competition, whether even it's friendly rivalry and friendly competition, it still makes us better as guys, right? And it's not like I hate you or something like that, but it's like I don't have a Rolls Royce Phantom or whatever it is you used to have. I don't even know what you're driving right now.
A couple,
but like when you guys went from. I remember when you guys made the shift from 80,000 subs to 100,000. You got that plaque right there. Yeah. And I got my plaque a month later on the show. As a matter of fact. Yeah. And
Don DeMarco for you, brother.
And so I thought that was pretty cool because you guys had hit it. And then I helped Adam Sosnick get up to 100K. I helped Jedi Abila get up to 100K.
Actually, you did.
I like to think I helped Mike get up past. I think he's at 100K right now.
You did.
Just by being there and helping and lifting everybody up. I'm doing that just because I'm there for the conversation. I'm learning. Even people who like have very like low sub accounts, and I'll still go on your show, because if I feel like I can learn something from you, I'm still going to do that. And that learning from you is me taking something from you. It's still competition, but I'm not being a dick about it. I'm not trying to crush your life or destroy you as a human being. I'm just saying, what can I learn from this guy? What can I take away from this experience? And that's kind of a low key, low energy version of, like, competition. And there's really nothing wrong with that. It only becomes like problematic, I guess, when the jealousy gets, or envy starts to get involved, when you get emotional about it. If you can be detached from the emotionality of competition, like if I am competing with somebody, like I used to be a professional competition fencer, I don't hate the guy that's across the strip from me. I'm just like, if he's better than me, then he whips my ass, that's fine, but I learned something from that experience, and I'm going to come back and try to do better on the next round, right? The other thing I think is kind of like ludicrous is when people say, well, don't compare yourself to other people. Compare yourself to who you were yesterday. Fuck that. No. You don't do that. Nobody does that. If I walk into Powerhouse Gym and I see the rest of these guys and I go, I want to look like that. Like, they ask me this. They go, what are your fitness goals? I'm like, I want to look like that motherfucker right over there. No, are you training for a master's competition or something? No, I want to look like that dude right there. Or I want to be in good shapes because I am a co-host of Access Vegas, and I have to be at least somewhat, semi in shape and at a certain body fat percentage to be taken seriously in this environment, in this theater, right? I want to look good at a Wet Republic bikini contest. I want to look good with my shirt off. Those are things. But like, I'm not saying I want to be able to beat this guy. I'm never going to beat Hida Yamagishi in an IFBB Pro competition. I know that. But just to take that information from somebody, like, even if you get personal training and stuff like that, you're basically taking what they know and using it for your own. If you're smart, you're using it for your own advantage. You're leveraging that. So, and
you're curving the learning curve for yourself, because now it's shorter.
By the way, everybody compares themselves to other people.
100%.
There is no getting around that. It's just human nature. It's the way we evolved. It's the way we're built. And I think the more we embrace that, the healthier you're going to end up being. Because you can take that to a unhealthy extreme, obviously, but you need to have something to compare yourself to, rather than just like what you used to be. Because if you're a fat ass and you're like slightly less of a fat ass and you feel good about that, well, the moment you can look in the mirror and be happy with what you see, you're sunk. You have to, like, the human condition is defined by discontent, not content. You'll never be happy. You can do things that make you happy, but you will never actually be happy, because we would stagnate. We would be homogenous at that point. And it's a good thing that we're discontent, because that's what makes us grow.
Good point. So
I did not answer your question. Your question was about like these guys that are getting allegations, and stuff. And I think that you can take accusations. You could take what you know of the red pill and apply that to best practices. I'm not saying that the red pill shouldn't be used for practices. I'm just saying the red pill in and of itself is a praxeology. What you do with that, like my job isn't to make men better men. It's to equip and educate men so that they can be better men on their own. Like I said, it's not one size fits all. That's how you get like 12 rules for life and here's 7 hot tips to get chicks, right? That's bullshit. I want you guys to be able to take the information of the red pill, which is very comprehensive, take that and apply it to your life and save your life with it and change your life with it. It's not a cookie cutter. It's not a formula, because I'm a white 57-year-old dude and you're a black 32-year-old man. We come from, you're from Barbados. My background's from Denmark, whatever.
Bomboka!
Yes.
Close enough.
Yeah. So, and let's be honest, you've had a problem stuttering and stuff like that too. Okay. Yeah. I have never had to worry about that, but your experience is different than mine. You coming to America, your experience is different. I've always been in America. I'm some dumb white kid from Huntington Beach, right? So my experience is going to be different from you, but you can still take the information that the red pill has, and you've used it quite successfully.
Yeah.
And I've got guys in my Reignite program right now who are like saying, "Hey man, you really saved my life. Thank you for doing that." And I'll ask them, how so? How did that happen? And because I want to see the work, I want to see what they did with the information and the equipment that I gave them and how it improved their life. So like guys who want to avoid, allegations and stuff like that, that's all in the red pill. You can figure that out with the information. If you know female nature, you can avoid that. If you know how women's psyche works, if you know that women are, far more women love opportunistically and men love idealistically. If you can sort of take that and leverage that to yourself, you can protect yourself from allegations. So is there a connection between those two and the red pill? Absolutely there is. It's just, you've got to figure out how to leverage it for yourself, for your individual needs.
Good point. We have any chats, fellas, or no? All right. And then we'll do the last question here. Jake the Mullet, shout out to you for the subs, bro. Jake the Mullet, shout out to you, brother. Dominicano Conio, these are truly the best episodes, real knowledge.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think back in the day we used to do a lot more.
We need to do a lot more of these.
Yeah, because, listen, I know the foundation is obviously the red pill dating, but we've kind of segmented different stuff as well. But this is what the core is people want to see anyway. And of course, helps men become better.
We did you were in it. You and I and Marquette and Aaron Clary and Jake Shields was in it. Yeah. I'm trying to think who else was on it. Myron was on it. Mike was on it, and
Crypto
from Miguel. But who's the guy from No Fugazi?
I don't think
was he on that show?
No.
Okay. Anyways, it was just like us. No chicks.
Aaron Clary.
Aaron Clary was on it. Yeah, Aaron was on it too. But anyways, we were on that one show. That was one of the best watched shows we ever had.
Yeah.
No girls.
Just guys talking.
Guys talking.
Men being men.
And I was looking back at that, and like when you and I have conversations, I've been on this show with just me and Myron before, and like we remember when Myron and I did the grape statistics show.
Yes.
All just chock full of stats and facts and stuff like that. People still go back to that, and
amazing breakdown.
Yeah, I think that if you want to know what I think the Manosphere is lacking right now, that it's lacking like really hardcore, substantive conversations about what the red pill is really about. Because if you want to avoid these guys going on whatever podcast and saying, it's my Christian duty to make sure that people leave the red pill, right? You just don't know what you're talking about. And if we did more shows like that, then these guys wouldn't have a leg to stand on, because what that does is it destroys their straw man for them. So they can't say, you guys, you red pill guys, don't you always say this, this, and this? They always go back to Myron and say, aren't you the guy that said you need to sleep with 50 women?
Yeah.
Right. And it's like, yeah, once. And it was in, just sort of like as an analogy kind of thing. If that's the case, I got to go get 9 more chicks tonight so I can live up to his expectations. It wasn't a hard number.
So
but it was, exactly. It was meant to, but what do they do? It sounds outrageous.
Take it out of context.
Let's make a straw man out of it and build a brand out of it in knocking it down. And you will hear that constantly. Don't you guys say this? Aren't you the guy that said vasectomy, vasectomy, vasectomy? And it's like, yeah, I did. Facetiously, and if you have watched anything since then, but they haven't, and of course, then everything that happened to you with Ling Ling, I'm like, I guess this guy wasn't so crazy after all, right? And it's just it's amazing to me. But like, how do you combat that? You have substantive conversations just like this.
Yeah, this is a lost talk we need to bring back.
A lost art.
For sure.
That's why I think a lot of people have a problem with me and Mike and on Access Vegas. Because, sometimes we kind of nerd out a little bit. That is true.
A little bit?
But quite a lot. But the thing is that we're a different show because we tend to stick to more substantive conversations, right? Our point is not to kick the girls off. It's to have that conversation, even if they're drunk, loud, 304s, right? But we're still having a conversation. And I think people don't know what to do with us. Like they don't. Is this a serious show? Or are these guys here to simp for these girls? Are these guys? Is anybody going to get kicked off? Is this going to be like one of those red meat kind of shows? And the answer is yes to all of that, right? I mean, we've had girls walk off the show before, but we don't kick the girls off. But we're there to have a substantive conversation with the girls there too, because what happens is when you have that back and forth, not only does it defeat the straw man, creators, it also helps like the women who watch our show, because we have a substantial viewership of women too. It helps them understand if you're going to try to educate women on the red pill, that's probably one of the best ways to do it. So.
Yeah, I think the show is great. The only thing I can see is that, like, for example, they want to see the gore, the crazy kickouts.
Well, nobody goes to a NASCAR race to see who wins.
Yeah.
They see who crashes and burns.
Yeah. So, I mean, obviously, you know what it is, bro? Bottom line, entertainment. That's what they want to see. And to be fair, I get you, bro. The world's tough. Things are going bad in your life. You want to laugh, have fun. I get it. But this could save your life wholeheartedly.
Well, the problem I have, like, so it's great when it's fun. It's great when you can understand the nature of the show. Yeah. But then what happens is you get all these guys who spurg out on it, and you get these guys who would just take everything freaking literal. And you know what you get after that? You get shows like that documentary, or that docu-attainment series called Adolescence on Netflix.
Bro.
I don't know if you guys have talked about that, but people go, oh, I can't believe this. They're so full of shit. They don't know anything about Andrew Tate. They don't know anything about the 80-20 rule, which was included in that series. I watched the whole series, right? And I'm like, how could they get so much of this wrong? Well, how do they get it wrong? Because they think that that's all it's about. They think it's just about entertainment. And that's not what it's about. Again, how do you combat that? You have you get shows like this that have substantive conversation, and you don't give them a leg to stand on. So if you go and pull clips from, which nobody's going to do, but you pull clips from this, and you say, okay, this is really what the man, or the red pill is really about, the praxeology of intersexual dynamics. And here's some of the things that we have observed. And if you want to have a conversation, you want to disagree with me about the alpha widow dynamic, war brides, 80-20 rule, the spinning plates, all that kind of stuff. If you want to disagree with me about that, I'm all ears. Please do. But if you're going to say, oh, you guys, here's what the 80-20 rule is about. You guys always say fuck 50 girls, right? That's not a conversation. That's just hearsay.
It's because they don't want to actually debate or argue. They just want to say
they
want
to build a brand.
Exactly.
They want a straw man, knock the straw man down, and build a brand on that straw man.
Last question from me before we end off.
Do we have one more super chat?
The chat. Yeah, this is a good show so far, bro. I think people want this type of content still, and we need it to come back as well.
Well, we every time, like I did Myron was in Vegas a few months back, and it was just me and him did a show. You were along for that one too, but me and him did that show, and everybody it was a very high view show for us. And again, I think it's the meeting of the minds and the conversation that goes along with that, because this is, I think, what people are really hungry for. They're hungry for education.
You know what I want to do coming up as well? I want to interview girls one-on-one.
Sure.
Hear me out. I think that obviously the show does great numbers by itself with all the girls, Myron, everything. But the shit that they don't want to say in front of everybody. And the shit I hear, bro, I'm like, whoa. If y'all could hear what I hear behind the scenes about what they do, dude. But I think if a one-on-one is better for bringing it out, and they're comfortable, they feel good, the vibe is right, they'll say it. So I think that will help show guys another aspect of the world as well.
There's this one girl that we have on the show. She's a semi-regular. Her name is Bree, and she pushes back on Mike all the time.
Yeah.
I would love to see them both do a one-on-one just like that.
Yeah. You mean on Access Vegas?
On Access Vegas, yeah. Okay. Mike will know who I'm talking about.
All right. What's the next chat? Hidden Dragon KNI. Thank you, Fresh, for all you do. You will never know how much you help. I'm up to 190 subs and 2.7K watch hours. Shout out to you, brother. Don DeMarco for you, bro.
Keep going.
I'm grinding hard. Pause. And we'll be back on my feet soon. WFNF. Shout out to you, bro.
Look, I got these now. I got to put them on.
Oh, yeah. Dragon Ball Z shoes.
Oh, my God.
So the argument was, why is Rollo wearing Myron's shoes?
People gave me so much shit for that. Like, how dare he?
It's all good, man. It's all good.
How dare you?
How dare you?
So I guess for the guys here watching that are still in the dating market.
He's watching you like he understands everything. Heroes in there.
Hero, what is the best way?
What is best in life
for men to navigate the current dating market and not get divorced?
He will tell you.
Not lose. He's seen it all. He's seen Rollo. If Hero could talk, bro,
he's a hidden gem of the show.
If he could talk, the shit he's seen, bro.
It's a good thing he can't. It's a good thing he can't talk.
Hey,
oh
yeah,
my
nigga,
God.
don't talk. But the point is that like, how can guys now move forward and navigate this crazy? Because dude, back when we started the show, it was already crazy.
Yeah.
Now it's like on steroids because you got more information out there, more people that are hooked on being accepted in the culture, so more liberal, more woke, but also people are focused on how can I get things faster from other people now. For example, take advantage. So it's like both genders are still battling to an extent, but it's up like 10 notches. So how should a man navigate now in the current dating market, you would say?
First of all, I think education is a primary thing, and that's one of those things that's like what you just said about like instant gratification. Like everybody wants a magic pill. They want the cheat codes to the game, right? And the problem is like, especially if you're learning like something as complex as intersexual dynamics or understanding your own nature, women's nature, the confluence between those two. It's like I said, it's not a bumper sticker. It's not something you can just like be fed a pill and learn overnight.
Yeah,
it's a college course, right? It's going from being a white belt to a black belt. And by the way, anybody telling you that they're giving away free black belts and here's the magic way to do this, they're selling you something. But
is pickup game still a thing? Like for example?
It is, but PUA is dead. Okay, it died a death back in 2009, basically. And that's why I laugh when people like still make comparisons to me and like to us as like, oh, you guys are those pickup artists. I'm like, what do you do? You think we like put on like black nail polish and like top hats and big feather boas and stuff? Like we all look like Mystery in 2005,
bro? Yep. I'm sorry, man. No offense to anybody, but dude, I'm not gonna go there. I mean, if I'm in a setting where I feel like, for example, it's private and more like of a high class, yeah, I'll do it for sure. But like, bro, I got time to sit there and I'm going to the mall and cold approach.
No.
Instagram all the way.
But
or
people's perception of game is still like rooted in 2005. They think that that's what game is, and it's like, dude, that was 20 years ago.
It's changed.
And so if you think a pickup artist looks like Mystery from 2005 with top, big elevator boots and a digital sign on his chest, that was gone along. That died with the pickup artist on VH1. Okay.
Yeah.
But it has evolved. And so like if you look at what like Mike Sartain is doing right now, it's a form of game for sure, but it's social circle game. Yeah. It's not cold approach. It's not yad stops. It's not direct, it's not mode one. It's not and not to take anything away from Alan Roger Curry, but we have evolved from that and it has matured and it's something that's a lot more, I think, streamlined right now.
Yeah.
And the only guy I can say who's really doing it correctly right now is Mike. And he's my friend and my partner, but I'm going to buff him out because, when it comes to social proof and pre-selection, and when it comes to just the way he's been doing it, it's much more modernized right now. So pick up a PUA like is dead, but game is not, and it never will be because game is always, as long as there's dudes and there's chicks, there's always going to be game. So how effective it is kind of up to the individual. But as far as game is concerned, the old school stuff is dead, but everybody wants to ridicule and make fun of it, which maybe they should at this stage, but it's not gone. So what was the other question, John?
So basically, how should men navigate and survive this cold dating market?
All right, so I'm gonna do what I never do, which is give prescriptions here.
Okay, let's do it.
So I think first off is the basics are always going to be money, muscles, and game. So those are the things. Okay,
hold on, real quick. In that trilogy right there, which one is the most important, you think?
I think it depends on the weaknesses and the deficits of the guy. So, because what happens is guys tend to play to their strengths, which it's deductive problem solving, right? Yeah. If I'm not a good-looking dude and I don't, I'm not physically, genetically, I'm not the best, you're probably going to think that chicks only want money. So you're going to like gross out in money, or you're going to gross out in game. So when people are deficient in one of those areas, they tend to gross out in another one of those. I know Rich Cooper will say something to the effect of like, don't chase women, chase excellence, right? What does that even mean? Like chasing excellence, or what is excellence, right? Is it money, muscles, or game, right? And my take on this is that, and I hate to use this term, but money, muscles, and game are synergistic, meaning that if you benefit in one area, it tends to have an effect on the other. So if suddenly you go from being a fat fuck and you get in shape 6 months, 8 months later, if you're a better looking guy, are people going to treat you differently
100%.
because you're a better looking guy? Okay, how is that going to affect your game? How is that going to affect your money situation too? Are you going to be up for a better job? Are you going to like be up for a promotion? Are you going to do things? Are you going to take more chances now? Are you going to be more risk tolerant as a result of that? More confidence as well. So what happens is when you benefit in one of those areas, it tends to have a similar effect in another area. So my way forward, my way of proceeding is to chase all of those things at the same time. Okay, primarily because like I talk to these guys who are Miguel Munoz's the crypto guys, the crypto crew, right? We're just about to go to I think it's this week, as a matter of fact. The Bitcoin conference is in Las Vegas this year. Okay. Yeah, I'm going. You know why I'm going? Because I'm there with Miguel. Every time I do, like, I know you guys are affiliates with Miguel too, so am I. Whenever I do a show with them, I do a show about how these guys need to protect themselves from prostitutes and chicks who want to basically roll them.
Yeah.
You know why? Because they're here in their money all of a sudden. Like they went from living in mom's basement and having like $10 in their bank account to having $10 million in their crypto account. Here's my bag is this much, right? And they go from zero to hero too quickly. And what happens is they're not prepared for the bitches that are going to be at the Bitcoin convention that are going to try to roll them. Yeah. Because that's it draws them like flies to shit, man. You will see those girls right there. Oh, guys, if this is you, if you're crypto bro, the girls at Sapphire do not love you, okay? The girls at the Rhino do not love you. The girls at Los Chicos Bonitos definitely don't love you.
Yeah.
Haram!
Yes. So, so be careful so I'm doing these shows with Miguel, and that's usually what I'm trying to explain to these guys. It's too much, too young, too fast, right? And so protecting themselves, that's why I say like you have to have a good education in all of those. So if all you're doing is really majorly grossing out in money and you have no game and you have no way to defend yourself and you don't know what female nature is like or what your own nature as a guy is like, you're going to be prone to believing that hot chick really loves you and your ship has finally come in, right? You know, I have $10 million in my bank account and that's all bitches care about, right? You know, you still have to be in shape. No, you still have to have good game. And no, you still have to know the red pill because you need to be able to sort of defend yourself against stuff like that. So, again, I think the basics is something that we need to kind of get back to going forward. I think we need to be hyper vigilant about questioning the veracity of what we see on social media.
Yeah.
And I don't mean that just in terms of like politics. I mean that in terms of like, what is this guy telling me, and and using my capacity for critical thinking, does it pass the smell test? Is this something is this guy trying to sell me something, or is this something that I can actually use? And I think that's a skill that a lot of like critical thinking skills right now is something that's really lacking, particularly in Generation Z. I don't know about Gen Alpha. Maybe I have a little more hope for these guys, but right now if you look at the people who have been brought up behind tablets and cell phones and have grown up with social media and stuff like that, people go, oh, that guy's old. By the way, I'm not a fucking boomer. Thank you very much. This old boomer. No, I'm Gen X, okay? And I'll chew a fucking hole right through you.
There you go.
Yeah. I will chew a fucking hole right through you. Yeah, I love it. Like anybody who's like over 30 is a boomer to Gen Z.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. It's like, no, you get your generational shit straight. But I think that going forward, using those critical thinking skills and just simply, you just stop yourself for half a second and go, is this guy trying to sell? Because usually they are trying to sell me something. What does he want me to believe? Also understand that you can make a separation between facts and how you feel about those facts. Okay. So we talk about this all the time, like how you're trying to hold girls accountable on the show, right? And usually that lack of accountability is the difference between the fact that you present them and the feelings that they have about that fact. So somewhere in between there, whether they accept it or they don't, that's where that accountability lies. And for the most part, you know, they're 3 White Claws in, they're going to get emotional and they don't care about that. That's
crazy.
That should never be you as a guy. You need to be able to separate your feelings from facts and deal with it accordingly. And once you can think in terms of empirical thinking as opposed to emotionalist thinking, once you get to that point, you can make better fucking decisions for yourself.
Yes.
And you can live a better life for yourself. I'm not saying that emotion doesn't matter. It does. I'm not trying to dehumanize anybody. But the thing is you can't live a life and base your life on how you feel about something. You should be able to look at the facts and think about things empirically and make a good choice and make a good decision based on those empirical facts, and then sort out how you feel about it. I'm not saying be some, social robot or be Mr. Spock or something like that. I'm just saying you need to like basing your life's decisions on your emotions is a recipe for fucking disaster. You want to know why all these bitches are on here and we're kicking them off and they're getting hammered and they're like screaming at the top of their lungs? Because somewhere along the line they were taught that it's better to live their lives via emotion as opposed to fact and reason and empiricism. If you can do that as a guy because we teach guys like they're defective girls, right? We raise them as if they're defective girls. And what happens? Those defective girls, those little boys who we teach as defective girls, become men who are defective women when they get to be adults. And that's why you run into these guys like, I'm going to bring down the red pill. And, because you're basing that on how you feel, not on the facts, not on actually asking any kind of substantive questions or thinking empirically. And if you did, you'd have a completely different opinion.
All right. Well said. Okay. Any more chats, guys? One more, and then we'll do word from our sponsor. All right. We have next. Let's see here. Albo Ace. We need more OG shows like this back in the day. Mm-hmm. Time to dive back deep into the RP content and topics that you guys used to. Yeah, man. I know you guys want to see that.
You can get all my books on Amazon. Yeah. They're all available. All 5 of them are available.
When's the new one coming out?
New one should be out probably quarter 3.
Quarter 3?
This year. Yeah.
Okay.
At the very latest. I'm about 3/4 of the way through it right now. So,
You've written how many so far?
5, and this will be 6. And this one's a little bit different. It's going to be it's going to be titled Reignite, which is the name of my group. But the essence of it is tying all of these independent ideas and concepts together. So if I talk about, like, say, mental point of origin, or if I talk about burden of performance, mm-hmm. or I talk about frame, like those are like some really popular. Well, what's frame? People think mental point of origin is like, put yourself first, bro. That's not what it's about. So I re-explain that a little bit differently. But the thing is all of those concepts are interconnected. As I was saying before, there's synergies between money, muscles, and game. There's also synergies between, like, red pill concepts. So your burden of performance is going to affect your frame, because your frame is the world that you have that woman enters into. And that's based on what have you done? What makes you respectable? What gives you integrity, right? Those kinds of things. And so that's locked into your mindset, right? Which is, I think, is a thing, but I think people kind of misuse the term mindset. So when I'm talking about mental point of origin, like that what you think about yourself, do you think about yourself first before you make any decisions? Do you make empirical decisions rather than emotional decisions? That plays into your burden of performance, which plays into your frame. So it's all, I basically interconnect, and those are just 3 topics. There's other ones as well. But those, I'm making the connection between what I've usually isolated in the past. So if you read my work, any of my books or my essays and stuff like that, if I talk about burden of performance, mm-hmm. it's in isolation. It's just in one box over here, right? And if I talk about frame, it's in another box. And if I talk about mental point of origin, it's in another box. But what I'm doing is I'm kind of pushing all those together to show you guys how they're interconnected.
How it works.
Yeah.
Okay. Well said. Mm-hmm. Speaking of money, we're from our sponsor. Folks, the American dream is under attack, and hardworking patriots like yourself are being crushed under mountains of debt. Why? Because creditors love debt. They want you to be stuck in their high-interest trap. They want you drowning in student loans, credit card debt, and skyrocketing mortgage rates, of course. Because when you're broke, you're controllable. So what do? Take control and fight back. And that starts with PDS Debt Today. They help tens of thousands of people live debt-free. PDS Debt goes beyond the numbers to understand your unique financial situation and craft a personalized plan designed just for you. There's no minimum credit score required. They're here to help you save more money and pay off your debt faster, and start putting your money back where it belongs, in your pocket. PDS Debt is an A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau, boasts hundreds of 5-star reviews on Google, and holds a 5-star rating on Trustpilot. Why? Because PDS has helped tens of thousands of people get out of debt. Stop living in debt. Get your free assessment today. Find the best option for yourself at pds.com/FNF. You're just 30 seconds away from getting out of debt. pdsdebt.com/fresh-and-fit. That's pdsdebt.com/FNF. Cool.
Cool.
All right, so Rollo, where can they find you, bro?
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram. Be nice to me on Instagram and fuck with me on Twitter. I am Rational Male I'm at Rational Male on Twitter, and I am Rational_Male on Instagram, which you have to type in because you will never find me because I'm shadow banned.
Why are we always shadow banned, bro?
How dare you?
Yes, it's because of the nature of the niche. And then you can find all of my books on Amazon.com. I have 5 of them. If you look up one, you'll find all 5, and you'll also find my my authors page on there as well. And if you're unfamiliar with my stuff, the authors page is actually the best place to start because it has brief descriptions of everything, and it has sort of my background on there as well.
Good stuff. Another word from our sponsor as well.
Yes, sir.
There we go. So guys, coffee of your choice. 1775 Coffee just dropped their starter kit. So if you've been scared to commit, relax. It's not vegan, it's not woke, and sure as hell won't answer for your pronouns. So you have $200 worth of coffee and get it just for $100. You get 3 full-size bags of their best coffee, the Bold Dark Roast, which I have here.
Is that the dark? That's the dark. I'll take
This
some.
is the
I'll take some of that.
Actual dark.
I'll take some of that.
Speaking of which, I'm dark as well.
Under the bed, dark. Yeah.
And we have the Smooth Medium Roast and their new anti-aging blend. Yes, coffee that actually tastes good and you age better with it. Also, merch, exclusive merch, a matte black tumbler stamped with unapologetic quotes, a gold spoon clip that keeps your coffee sealed on a counter from looking homeless, and a branded frother that does what it's told. All of it is a single origin, small batch, mold-free, and toxin-free. And every bag is rated 85 plus on the Coffee Scale, which puts it among the top specialty coffees in the world. Go to 1775coffee.com/fresh. Grab your starter kit today before it's gone. Start your day with a coffee that's not only tastes great, but actually helps you back to what you believe.
Damn.
Cool.
I drink a lot of coffee. I think I might want to try that.
Yeah, no, it's
actually.
really good, bro.
I think I might try
You've had
that.
it before.
Yeah.
A couple times.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So, Rollo, thank you for coming through, bro.
Sure.
I know you're very busy. You meant to go to right now, a major event.
Yep.
Tell them about the event on Saturday and then today.
The event on Saturday is going to be the White Party for Babes in Toyland. Babes in Toyland is a charity event that Mike Sartain and myself do at least every other month.
Yeah.
And it's usually for animal rescue. Sometimes it's for wounded veterans. This time it's going to be for Hounds for Heroes, which is dogs to go to soldiers. So that's going to be kind of fun. It's a guy. His name is Steve Fowler. He's a guy who's sort of the brain child behind the whole thing. And we do it at different locations. So this one's in Miami. We usually do them in Los Angeles and Las Vegas. The next really big one is going to be
and there's
Swim Week.
So much fun, man.
Yeah, Swim
Guys,
Week in August.
Their events have some of the hottest women on the planet.
Yeah,
I kid you not.
My God.
Listen. You guys know I love the snow. I'm in snow bunny heaven when I go there.
Yes.
But obviously speaking, it's more to that than just the girls.
Oh yeah, well yeah. There's actually a good
the
cause
networking,
for it.
the people there.
Networking is great.
Billionaires
the
as
people
well.
you'll meet there. We've had a lot of the people that we've met at these events. We have them on the show. But speaking of girls, I think we have close to 300 for this one. So we have a lot of women. For this one. They love it. And so that will be.
I want to go.
That will be tomorrow night. It will be at Strawberry Moon in Miami. So if you happen to be
amazing
here,
spot.
Come and meet me. I'll sign your book or shake your hand, whatever you want.
Yeah, that spot's owned by Pharrell, and I think the groupman here in Miami. It's a pretty cool spot.
Yep. So that's coming up tomorrow, and then the next really big one will be Swim Week in August in Las Vegas.
I will be there. God willing, I'll be
All
there.
right, we'll do video.
Yeah.
We'll do.
I will
we'll do a
vlog it.
show. You and I'll do a
vlog
show
it.
just like this.
Yeah.
In Red One Studios.
Let's do it.
Sound good?
Yeah.
All right.
Awesome. And last sponsor for today, Rumble Premium. All right, guys. Free speech is under attack, but Rumble, guess what? Refuses to back down. We're always believed in empowering voices, no matter how unpopular. Now we're taking the fight to the next level. When major advertisers conspire to pull their dollars, even brands like Dunkin' Donuts turn their backs, claiming Rumble had a right-wing culture. But we're not here to fit the mold. We're here to defend free expression. To serve in this mission, we're excited to offer Rumble Premium, which you guys always sub to the channel for. A completely ad-free experience with exclusive benefits for viewers and creators. You'll find exclusive content from creators like Russell Brand, Dr. Disrespect, Tim Cass, and McClover Crowder. It's more than a subscription, it's a stand for free speech. Your voice matters. Join Rumble Premium. For a limited time, you can get $10 off an annual plan using promo code FRESH. Visit rumble.com/premium/fresh and claim your discount today. Together, we can turn the tide. Whether you join Rumble Premium or simply keep watching, your support helps keep free speech alive. Thank you. All right, Rollo.
Nice.
Thank you for coming, bro.
Thanks, man.
Again, man, always a pleasure. And I'll see you at the event and in Vegas.
All right.
All right, guys, we're out of here. Mariah's going to be back next week. We're going to do as well some more collabs for our show. And, of course, we're going to do the breakdown for Diddy. He's doing it right now on his channel.
Oh,
so go
man.
check it out.
It just gets worse
Yeah,
and worse.
worse and worse,
oh,
man.
My God.
Oh, he's
Shit,
in
I
trouble.
almost want to be in for that one.
But see, I called it, bro. Cassie was full aware of what she was doing, and she wanted to do it herself, too.
Yep.
Bro, come on, man. I don't miss. But in
Willingly.
any case, guys, we're out of here.
Yep.
Peace.